Good evening, everyone. How are we doing today? So I'm going to share with you a kind of a breakdown of an article I read from Sequoia. If you don't know who they are one of those sand hill venture capital funds. They have been investing in the Silicon Valley for the better part of 50 years and have been a part of a lot of the successful IPOs. And the reason I follow Sequoia is because they're not afraid to call it how it is. They are very well known for an article they put out in 2008 talking about rest in peace, RIP, the good times. Uh, and this really goes to a lot of the chatter that I'm hearing in the Silicon Valley, mainly from sales professionals. And again, that's where I spent my career for 20 years. It's where my network is. And they're telling me that that pipelines are shrinking, that meetings that are key parts of complex sales cycles aren't happening, and be warned. And then I see this article from Sequoia coming out, who's an investor in many different private companies, and they're basically telling their CEOs to buckle up. And while this article points at 6 things that they want their companies to do, I thought we could talk about them from the individual perspective, because you can look at these as good business decisions, but I think they're also very good personal financial decisions as we are going through an uncertain time of uncertain duration. And let's make sure we're prepared. But most importantly, let's be prepared so we can take advantage of this. A great story from that 2008 Rest in Peace Good Times article is actually Zappos. If you don't know who they are, they're basically a shoe manufacturer. They were part of Sequoia's funding round. They saw that article. They obviously were funded by Sequoia. They battened down the hatches, and they were able to take huge advantage while others were struggling with high expenses and having to let people go and shrinking market share. So I share this with you not because I'm trying to scare you. What I'm trying to do is make you prepared so that you can take advantage of this window of opportunity, which will be of some duration, probably less than we want, but it's there. So why not try to take advantage of it? But you can't take advantage of it unless you're prepared. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So let me bring that up. Let me make this picture bigger. All right. So again, this is from Sequoia. You can go to their website. I found it on CNBC. I also think I found it on Bloomberg. Basically, the venture firm Sequoia is sounding the alarm about the economy again. And the reason this is important is they don't generally talk economy, right? They are technology investors. They take nascent technology and ideas and inject capital and executive talent, and they just go, go, go. But they do see changing economies and the reasons to conserve cash and to be ready for the bad times as important or prudent. So it's interesting when they put something out in this public domain. Again, I started following them after their highly publicized article that was done in 2008. The title was Rest in Peace, Good Times. And again, you can go ahead and read that story. One of the outcomes, again, was Zappos that we talked about earlier. And I just thought it was well-timed. They were early and they were right. And you got to respect that. So again, they sent notes to executives warning about the short-term future. I think it's great advice for us as individuals. If you look at them and ask, if you treat your family like a business with income and expenses and cash flow and all these things, I think it's important for us to consider. So number one, your cash runway. What happens if sales drop 50% for 3 months? Can you afford it? We have already seen one company, and I was going to do an article on, or a video on this. It was an airline in Europe that already went out of business, right? This contagion is infecting Europe for about a month now, and one of their airlines has already gone out of business. It was a smaller one. It was already in trouble, but this just took it out, and it's already not flying anymore. So again, this is going to happen to over-leveraged company. That one will not be the last one. So again, You know, what would happen if your income was cut in half? What would happen if you were like the United Airlines pilot and asked to take vacation for a month at reduced pay? What if you or your significant other was put on furlough for 60 days? Could you handle it? What's going to happen? Can you afford it? What do you have to reduce now so your cash burn is less? This is what this talk is. Have these conversations now. Get ready. Nobody expects this to last a long time being greater than a year. But still, if you run out of cash in the middle of this and you have to sell off assets or make other bad decisions, that just doesn't happen. So sit down, have a conversation about your cash spend, because expenses are what get you, and ask yourself, could you go 3 months at half your income? Because it could happen. Fundraising will be harder. This is a real estate channel. So what this means is you may think you have private money, you may have hard money lined up. It is not out of the realm of possibilities that this thing makes it harder to do. Funding sources could get dry up. People could get scared. Yes, I know interest rates are falling. Yes, first loans, first 1 or 2 or 3 investment properties are going to be easy and easier, I think. But if you're in the business and doing 40, 50, 60 of these, I would double check those private money sources, because there's a good chance that at least some of them are scared and they need to conserve cash, and they're going to not say yes to your next project. So just watch out. Sales forecasts. There are so many forecasts right now out there that have lies and just no hope and prayer of coming in, right? There are sales meetings being canceled left and right. People cannot travel, not see clients. They're still putting it in their forecast because they don't want to lose their job and look like they have nothing. But I have never heard so many sales reps tell me that their forecast for the current quarter and next quarter is total bogus. Complex sales, not only in technology, but in industrials and all this other stuff, has ground to a halt. Sales cycles that took 6 months, it's going to take 9 now. There is going to be technology companies who have to slash revenue expectations. From an individual perspective, this could be your paycheck, your RSUs, your bonuses, whatever. You may be expecting your RSUs to cash out at X in June. Well, what happens if they cashed out at X minus 20%? We all have future plans that are coming in, but what happens if they're 20, 30, or 40% less? The next 3 to 9 months, most surprises will be negative. There could be some positive, but most surprises will be negative. It's just where we are. Marketing. Oh, this was called out by Sequoia big time. Basically, they're saying, can you do more with less? Can you raise rate? You're gonna have to raise the cost of customer acquisition. Maybe do less marketing, because the marketing is often a very big expense with no immediate return. So if you are in a cash conservation mode, be careful. All right? Don't stop because you don't want to stop marketing altogether, but be selective. Go double down maybe on the best performer and cut out the rest. From an individual perspective, what are you doing? Maybe this is looking at your personal expenses and maybe not doing one less trip or less eating out, whatever it is. But what can you do to lower your expenses just in the short term, just the next 3, 6, maybe 9 months, to make sure your cash burn is less? Headcount. Oh, this is the one that nobody wants to talk about. Sequoia is basically telling their companies to shut down all open recs, cancel them, but also you might want to double check all those employees and maybe see if you can do more with less. If this thing goes on a couple of months and sales forecasts get whacked, the only answer is headcount will be reduced. This could lead to job layoffs. Now, it may be short term, but a job layoff is a job layoff, and it could hurt some people. So if you're in a paycheck to paycheck environment where you need both paychecks, please do yourself a favor and ratchet back expenses. just until we see the tail end of this, because I don't want you to be caught in a bad situation. Capital spending. This is one that is going to catch technology companies that if you're not paying attention, companies are going to be reducing forecasts. They're going to be conserving cash. They can push off some capital investments. And if you're in a business that relies on companies spending big dollars on software or servers or other technologies, they're going to have a 90 to 180 day air pocket. They're going to retrench. They're going to try to figure out what's going on. Technology companies are going to be reducing their top line expectations. I just can't see it happening any other way with what I'm hearing going on in the sales arena. In the end, downturns in revenue and cash balances fall faster than expenses. This was a quote right from the tail end of Sequoia's article. Again, in downturns, revenue, so top line and cash balances, they fall faster than expenses. So Sequoia is asking their companies to get out in front and whack expenses. This is great advice for individuals. You need to whack expenses today and see, then come back and see where things are in 3 to 6 months. Live below your means, conserve just in case. In the end, I want you to be ready because I see huge opportunities this year to make great investments. I believe we're going to see less competition, low rates, and the ability to easily identify motivated sellers. I believe if you're a seller and you don't need to sell, you will not list your property. But the ones that do, divorce, job transfer, whatever, right? You have to sell because you have to sell. We're going to find them and we're going to have so much less competition. But you can't take advantage of this unless you're prepared. So do yourself a favor, just like Sequoia is telling all of their companies, take a look at your expenses, take a look at your cash balances, and be ready. In the end, let's be clear. Let's hope this is very short and very shallow. Let's hope a vaccine is created tomorrow. But just in case, let's be ready to get some good deals or great deals that will take us forward. So in the end, I respect Sequoia for putting out that article. I respect them being good and prudent investors with their capital. I hope this has helped you see what you can do in your family. Let me know what you think. Look below. As always, if you need to know how to find good deals, right, understand what is bad, average, good, and great, look below. Check out the course. I think it'll really help you. Have a great day. Take care.